Today we're talking about a topic that every organization should be paying close attention to. And many businesses, they invest in firewalls and antivirus software and cloud security, believing that they are protected. But how many do you believe that your defenses are really holding up against real and strong attackers when they are trying to break in? Now, that's where penetration testing comes in. That's a really important thing that we need to consider. It's ethical hacking or hackers putting your systems to test before the real cyber criminals try to even get a chance. So today's interview with 800 Tech, we're going to be talking about penetration testing. The best defense is a good offense. And of course, we would have on the line Mr. Scofield. He's in the building. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. How are you?
I am fantastic. Of course, Mr. Scofield is joining us. He is the managing director of 800 Tech Limited with over 20 years of experience helping organizations to strengthen their technology infrastructure and, of course, cybersecurity. And he's going to explain why thinking like an attacker might be one of the most smartest investments that a business can make. Mr. Scofield, thank you so much for being with us. Of course, we're going to get right into it. There's so much happening, but this is so important that we talk about. Now, before we get into the whole overview of what this is about, let's start with the basics.
Mhm.
Now, what exactly is penetration testing, and why is this important at all to modern cybersecurity?
All right. So penetration testing, to simplify it a bit, is basically you looking for weaknesses in your system,
Right.
very much like what cyber attackers will do. Look for breaches in your system and see if they can be exploited. And
Mm,
so penetration tests would do just that. Look for vulnerabilities, see if they can exploit those vulnerabilities, and then report on it. So that, in
mm,
a nutshell, is what penetration testing would do for your organization.
mm. No. So why do you say that the best defense is a good offense when it comes to
Yeah.
protecting your business? Why?
Yeah, because a lot of people have the misconception that, especially business owners, that I would put in these tools or hardware and you know, it should be enough. And I always like to bring it to real world scenarios for people. Um, let's say, for instance, you install a fire suppression system, all right, and you note that you have it, it's on your books, and you see it mounted, so you think that you're protected and you're covered. But testing it to see its effectiveness is important. So that's why you have fire drills. You have fire drills so that you can see, hey, is my process working? My evacuation procedure, are they adequate? Is the alarm working? Is it's all those things you have to test. So likewise, just having a firewall, having procedures in place, and not validating those things as operational, it leaves you vulnerable. So the offense part is important. And I mean, if I can liken it to those of us who just recently watched the World Cup, it might ring home a bit. We saw that game between Argentina and England. We saw how that went. We saw what happened when England decided to play defense only. I mean,
Right, right.
it's a clear difference in strategy. When you decide to play defense only, you get breached, which is exactly what happened to them with Argentina. I mean, yes, I mean, I know the Argentina fans will come for me, but
Yeah.
yes, I know Argentina is a superior team, but at the end of the day, the strategy that England deployed, I think, was flawed. And that they
Mm,
decided to play defense at one point in time when they think that, hey, I'm
right.
winning. So just similar in kind with businesses, you would see them, put in the best firewall, have the procedures, hire the best team,
Right.
but we just
But
playing
still,
defense here.
still, yeah,
But
yeah,
we're
yeah.
not testing to see, hey, how do all this pull together? Can it be penetrated? Where are the weaknesses? It may be a simple patch that needs to be applied that was discovered last week, but we're not testing it.
Mm,
So you would not know that this vulnerability exists
exist.
within
Yeah.
your network.
Wow, wow, wow. It's real stuff we're talking here, real stuff. Now, many businesses for forever since the internet existed had some form of an antivirus
Yeah,
framework in place. Everybody had something. We were hearing it talk about firewalls and all these things from since we started with Microsoft Word when it invented. Now,
yeah.
why isn't that enough on its own now? Because we've had it forever. Why is it
Mhm.
not enough?
Well, it's not enough because things evolve and
Right,
businesses evolve. And unlike probably 10 years, probably 5 years ago, businesses, I mean, I would go probably 5 years ago, pre-COVID. Businesses, some of them weren't as dependent on technology. But today, businesses run on technology. Now, when
mm,
you run on technology, as I said in my last LinkedIn post, IT is no longer technology is no longer an IT problem. It's a
right,
business problem, right? So because you
mm,
run on technology now, cybersecurity in the next year or two will become a business survival issue. Not
right.
just, saying I have a firewall, I have this. It's about your business being able to survive. And I don't think
Mm,
people understand how critical that is.
right.
It is the hard blood of your organization, of your business, because everything runs on the internet, on technology. And yes, we may have some of them that say, "Hey, that's why I'm not going to deploy technology in my business." But then you're simply not going to have a good business because
Exactly.
everybody's online, everybody have a phone in their hand,
Yeah.
everybody is using some measure of technology. So you
Mm,
have to. We are basically in a space where this is a new normal.
yeah.
And I
Yeah.
haven't even, introduced AI to that conversation yet.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Introducing AI to the conversations is a whole
Just turn up
another.
the flame.
You turn it up, yeah, literally. You throw gas and
Wow.
everything there.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's crazy uh, to think that we don't need protection online. And I would say
Mm,
that because I think it's because we don't see it or feel it or hear it. It's like a silent enemy. There's no
yeah,
noise happening when somebody's system is being attacked. You don't
exactly.
see that. You just feel it and you know the repercussions of it. You just realize one day you wake up and you can't log into your systems or none of your passwords work. Could you believe just about 10 minutes ago, I got some messages on my phone saying that somebody's trying to log into my LinkedIn, like about 20 messages, one after the next. And let me tell you, every message that I got, they were trying to log in from a different place in Trinidad,
Wow.
from San Fernando, from Arima, and if this is happening to me as an individual, what more is happening to businesses? And I think that is a serious thing that we have to consider.
Yeah.
And my next question is simply this. Now, what's the difference between a vulnerability asset or and a penetration test? Because people more often confuse both of them.
So they go hand in hand. So a vulnerability is a known weakness in your system. All right.
Mm,
Let me see if I can simplify it. Like for instance, for those of us who have vehicles, uh, you hear the ball joint knocking, so you know, hey, there's a vulnerability in my vehicle. But you may want to go to the mechanic shop to get it tested and see, okay, is it just the ball joint, or is it something else going on with my suspension? All
wow,
right.
right.
So the penetration test now would validate that, hey, you have a real problem, and this is the method that they could possibly use to log in, or they could
Mm,
possibly use to extract data. So the penetration test basically exploits known vulnerabilities within your system to actually see and show you in a report that, hey, this is how they can penetrate your system. This is how they can extract data. This is how you're vulnerable in this particular area. And these are the
mm,
steps that you need to take to correct those. So it's not just saying, hey, look across the problem. It's
mm.
also giving you the steps, to actually, get those things patched, or what you need to do to get it patched.
Right. No, no, you've been in this for a long time. You've been serving in this area. Now, what are some of the most common vulnerabilities that you discovered during that penetration test?
So the most common thing is lateral movement. So within a network, lateral movement has been a challenge for a lot of businesses.
Mm,
Because especially in the Caribbean, we just like to have things simplified. And
mm,
I always tell my customers, security comes in a measure of discomfort.
wow.
So most people, because my son or my daughter or somebody in the neighborhood know IT, they would tend to just, bring this person on without, and not that they're trying to be malicious, but
Mm,
because how things are evolving now, they may create a network that is very easy to penetrate.
mm.
And then we layer that now with AI. I mean, just this week we've seen where the OpenAI
And
platform
breakout.
itself breakouts, and I mean
Attack.
that if that does scare people, and AI is in everything. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody has have AI. Most people with smartphones, you have access to a version of AI, no matter how limited it may be, but it can be
Mm.
weaponized.
Wow.
So when you have these things in place, simple things as you can take a picture of a router and it will tell you the default username and password, just like
Mm.
that. And a lot of companies, especially small and micro ones, they will set things up with the default username and password. Those simple
Right.
things,
Right.
or in the concept in the Caribbean is if it then broke, don't fix it. So
Mm.
things running in the business, but patches are coming out on a regular basis, but you fail to want to invest in patching those systems, plugging the vulnerabilities, because these are methods that are known to the cyber criminal world, if I can say that,
Right.
of how they can penetrate your system. So when you fail to invest in those things, you're basically, allowing yourself to stay open. And we need to understand that this is now a business survival issue and a
Right.
business continuity issue because as we said in our last webinar that we had with TTMA, with TIC,
Right.
when you cannot process payroll, it's not John in the IT room problem, it is a
Mm.
business problem.
That's
The
right.
CEO
That's
will have
right.
to get involved,
Yeah.
because I don't want to know as an employee that you can't process my payroll because the system down. I
Yeah.
don't really care,
Correct.
but I want my money. That's how
That's
we
it.
operate.
Yeah. Correct.
That's how we operate. So it becomes a business problem, and it is a business problem because business operations run on technology.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, your clients have been, of course, coming to you and bringing their concerns about their cybersecurity, and they would, of course, get services from you guys. But after you've done or completed the test, are they surprised by what you guys find? Of course, they might say, maybe you might point out a few weak points, but normally, are they surprised by what you find?
Yes, so there's a mixture of surprise and confusion.
Right.
So those with technical teams, they would probably more not understand the technical side of it. Um, but most business owners, all they hear is, okay, something wrong, and
Mm,
then the next question is, hey, okay, how we fix this? That's
right.
basically so. Business owners, unless they're technically inclined, they don't typically understand or probably just don't want to get involved in it,
Right.
but all they see is, oh my God, I have a problem. I am vulnerable. Sometimes it stresses them out, but the next question is always, okay, what do we do from here? How do we
Right.
fix this? All
Right.
right. And it brings us to another area that we normally talk about. The recommendation has always been that you do penetration testing once a year, um, semi-annually, in that case. But within the last 2 years, and I was discussing with a friend yesterday, within 2026, the advancements in AI that we have seen just in this year alone, and we're just what, month number 7, the
Mm,
advancements that we've seen, it is exciting one and scary at the same time.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
likewise, just as exactly how that AI system was able to break the guardrails,
Hmm.
there are people utilizing the AI for both good and bad.
Yeah.
All right. So now it expedites the process of you needing to do testing. So
uh,
the new normal is going to be continuous testing. So
Yeah.
continuous testing is continuously being verifying your network and we would say on a monthly basis. And we've
Mm,
invested in tools to allow us to do that, to continuously verify your network, check your vulnerabilities, and produce reports on a monthly basis, so you can actively keep patching and ensure your safety, to a certain
mm.
extent.
Wow. We are seeing clearly that that all these advancements are pretty much tools. They're not bad tools. But is it that
Yeah.
we are having a human behavior problem, or is it technology might be the problem? Where did you stand? Or is it a mixture of the both?
So I mean, with everything in life, I mean that's a real ticklish question. So with everything in life, they can be used for good and bad. Even if you look at the
Mm,
Bible could be used to interpret both sides. You could
yeah,
you
yeah,
could
yeah,
use the
yeah,
Bible to support an argument on both sides of the fence. So
yeah,
that is life, and it
yeah,
all depends to what side of the fence you want to stand on.
yeah.
Um, you could utilize anything for both
For
good and
good or
bad.
evil, a knife.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Correct.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
it's
true.
difficult to actually stand on that one, but I'm gonna stand in the middle.
Yeah, yeah, and I feel you. I feel you. And the reality is because of the world that we live in,
Yeah.
a lot of people are using great tools for great evil.
Correct.
And that's
Correct.
why we have to be protected and we have to make sure that everything is in place. Now, at what point should a growing business, not a maybe a majorly established one, but a growing business begin investing in penetration testing?
You should invest in penetration testing if you're using technology.
Oh
I mean,
gosh.
that's a
Yeah.
simplest way. And and again, I just want to bring it back. So over the year 2025, we've invested significantly in new tools and training for our team.
Hmm.
And our focus was to ensure that our solutions are affordable. All right.
Right.
And this is one of the benefits of AI. AI
Right.
brings down cost in some instances. So we've utilized tools that are heavily embedded with AI. So it would assist in terms of the automation part of it to
Mm.
deliver at a faster scale, to be a little more accurate. So it's not going to be as expensive as it used to be.
Right.
Because I mean, we
Which
know
is a
penetration testing can be expensive,
of course,
right?
especially for a growing
Um,
company, you know?
Correct. So
Yeah.
we have taken that on board, recognizing the area that we're in and we play in, and we are offering solutions to work with businesses to ensure that they are safer online, because there's nothing like 100% security, all right?
Yeah.
To make sure that they're safer online by offering the continuous penetration testing. And if you do want to do that, we can still do the annual and biannual for you. But
Mm.
once you're utilizing technology, you have to get tested. It's like saying once you have a vehicle, you have to take it to the mechanic. Same
Right.
thing.
Right.
So if you want to
Right.
be a vehicle owner, you know you
Yeah.
have to see the mechanic at some point
Of
in time,
course. Of course. Yeah.
right? Whether you do scheduled maintenance or you wait until it's broken, which is going to cost you more,
Yeah.
even
Correct.
even in that realm, it's the same concept, you know.
Yeah.
But you choose how you want to deal with it.
Perfect analogy there. I feel like I need to go and take my vehicle before it starts to shut down. No, no. If penetration testing uncovers something, a critical weakness, what should a business do next?
All right. So it all depends. So a business without technology experts, you need to consult a trusted partner,
Yeah.
produce the report produce the report and let them advise you. If it is that you're comfortable with your current provider, um, they would then tell you, okay, hey, these are some of the things that we've seen, and we could remediate these things for you. Some people, business owners, don't really want to get involved in the technical part of it because sometimes it scares them, it confuses them, and that is fine. But at a high level, you need to understand what certain things mean for your business and the
Right.
implication, because at the end of the day, it is a business survival issue,
Right.
right?
Right.
And it's about business continuity. So because it has technology in it, it doesn't mean that you need to shy away from it completely. Everything can be broken down into layman's language. And that's why when we do our reporting, there's an executive sided report that simplifies the information a bit and tone down the language. And then there's the technical side of it, would hit you with, all the technical that you could possibly want.
Mm.
And then we still have a consultation thereafter. So after we do the testing and we get the report, we send it to you, digest it, and then we have a meeting. Okay, what questions do you have on these areas? How,
Yeah.
how are we going to do this? Whatever it is, we sit with you, we have that consultation thereafter, and then we set out a roadmap on how we're going to actually repair and remediate.
Wow. Now, Scofield, I always say that when it comes to cybersecurity and companies, staff members are pretty much like the Trojan horse all the time, all the time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, no. When it comes to cybersecurity, how important is staff awareness and cybersecurity training towards reducing the risk?
So it's very important because a lot of the threats that we've seen, um, they come from user and behavioral issues.
Yeah.
They see something and so inquisitive as human beings. Something that I mean, it's gonna sound bad, but the macro culture, you
Oh
see something
gosh, boy, that way that
that
is
look
catch us, you know. That way we get catch. We always clicking
yeah,
something.
you see something that looking, really good, and you're like, I wonder what that is, but I could possibly be the winner, or I could possibly,
Gosh,
get this, or whatever it is, and you click it, and that's where some of the threats would start to filter in from. And I think
right,
I saw something somewhere where they were saying that now a lot of the hackers are logging in rather than breaking in, and they're
right.
using social engineering to trick people into giving up their username and passwords, or
Wow.
like just like how you got that MFA request from LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
um, they would use something like fatigue, to get you fed up and tired, and you just to make the alert go away, you just click yes.
Just click yes, and
Yeah,
that's it.
so they do that, and after a
That's
while you're like,
crazy.
oh my God, this thing just keep popping up, popping up. You just click yes and make it go away.
Yeah,
So they
that's it.
use those kind of techniques. But what we've noticed is that businesses that have an active cyber awareness program that run in the company itself, we have fewer problems with those companies. They're more
Wow.
aware. Sometimes they alert us to things that they see, or when we do phishing simulation, um, sometimes we get 100% score because everybody's like, "What is going on here?" They would message, email, call, say, "Hey, I got an email that looking real suspicious. I'm sending you a snapshot of it," and nobody would
Mm-hmm.
click it. Nobody would open it. And I
Right.
mean, at first we were like, "Whoosh, we ain't doing something good here. We ain't catching nobody." But then we realized, but that's a good thing,
That's a good
because
thing.
these users are really aware. I mean, you
Yeah,
have to come like really, really good. I'm not saying that they won't get compromised, but you have to come really good to catch them. So now we know if something happened, it's something that they probably really got tricked about and it would never happen again. I'm sure about that,
right, right,
because they
right,
would have
right.
learned. And whenever we see things like that, we publish it and let them know, hey, this is what happened the last time. So this is what we can look for, but then we tighten up on security to ensure that there's no repeat of the same thing.
Mm, powerful. Now, if every business owner listening today could just do one thing this week to improve their cybersecurity posture, what would you recommend?
Change your mindset.
That's
I,
good.
I think changing your mindset towards cybersecurity and technology as a whole would go a long way. Because we had a meeting with a client yesterday, and he made a profound statement that this is no longer, just about putting in tools, but it is about survival.
Yeah,
And we were like, we wish you could tell the rest of the population about this because it is about survival. So
yeah,
we need them to change their mindset and not think that the technology is for the IT department to sort out.
right.
Those
Wow.
days are gone. Those are the 1990s when we were thinking about the Y2K.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
when that was applicable. Now it's no longer that because your business run on the technology. That's the very core of your business. It's almost as if in your plant, your machinery goes down. It is your problem. You can't export.
Yeah.
Same way if technology go down, the systems go offline. A simple thing as not being able to print labels, you
Mm,
can't ship.
yeah, yeah,
So it is a business continuity thing, and you need to know what is your recovery time objective, so that you
yeah.
need to know how long do you would you actually take to recover and or sustain without the technology, and at the same time you have to put things in place to bridge that gap there, or to ensure that your recovery process falls way within that the objective of recovery. All right, so
That's important. Yeah.
changing the mindset is very important. And we have probably just a few more days where we offering an exclusive um, penetration test um,
Wow.
for businesses. We have like about 2 or 3 more spots available because some didn't qualify.
Right.
And they can still go to our website, www.800-tech.com, and sign up for that complimentary exclusive penetration testing. We're giving it away because we are celebrating
Well,
14 years in business. So only 14 we giving away. You have like 2 or 3 more spots.
wow.
So please go to the website, um, submit your information so that you can be part of this.
Well, I think this is the biggest thing people could hear right now. This part, people have no idea
Yeah.
that you guys were celebrating and this opportunity was available. Say it one more time and say the address one more time so we can know exactly where to go to get this opportunity for the penetration test.
Yeah, so the web address is www.800-800-tech.com. Once you go to the website, it would pop up. You will see the anniversary special running there. We
Mhm.
only have room for 2 to 3 more businesses, so please submit information. There's an evaluation process. So even though you submit your information, doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get through. There's an
Right.
evaluation process, and there's a consultation, and then we will then, let you know if you were successful or not.
Wow.
All right. So this is something that businesses need to. We have a lot of businesses already that already took it up. We already started the process,
Wow.
and this is our way of giving back to the business community to show them that, hey, we are your partners in this together.
Thank you so much, Scofield, for sharing with us, especially on this topic of penetration testing. Is not something that we think about when it comes to cybersecurity. We're thinking about firewalls, but we're not
Yeah.
thinking about testing the strength of the firewall or testing the strength of the system to make sure that we are protected online and our businesses are really secure, so we can continue to scale and not worry about these issues that are happening. Of course, you can reach the entire team at 800 Tech. You could do that. And of course, you can find them on social media. So thank
On
you
social media.
again for being with us again until we talk again. Guys, you were listening, of course, to Mr. Scofield Thomas, the managing director of 800 Tech Limited, with over 10 years experience helping organizations strengthen their technology, infrastructure, and cybersecurity. He, of course, be back with us. You will hear more and more because you see, cybersecurity is something that has to continue, as he said, pressure testing to make sure that your systems are always protected, regardless of how strong or how great the attack or the enemy is. So we're gonna take a quick break and we're gonna get right back into the digital world right after this quick moment. Don't touch that dial.